So what is it that gets you excited about the NDIS?
Well, I think it represents an opportunity for change. And instead of the very fragmented process that we know our parents and our families experience when they seek help for their child, they're actually coming into a system now which is very unified and focused entirely on their needs from 0 to 65 years of age. It's a continuum of support, which I think is really exciting. Having been in this industry for nearly 30 years and seen the hard yards that people have had to walk to advocate for change in the disability sector, the introduction of the NDIS for me is the pinnacle of 30 years of involvement in the sector, because it represents a change not only from a funding point of view and an operational point of view, but it also represents a social change. It's a social engineering change. And that's the good thing about the NDIS, that it actually has funds and resources allocated to it to help educate society about the rights of people with disabilities. And its vision is to see people with disabilities and developmental delays and a whole range of conditions effectively integrated to society as meaningful citizens. And that's something that we've all fought for a very long time. And I think the other thing that excites me is that the families we support are excited. When they hear about the NDIS and how it's going to operate and the changes in efficiencies, they are excited because it means for them their day-to-day battle or obligations on behalf of their children are just made that little bit easier. And organisations like us can work with them in advocacy to get the right types of outcomes for their children. And it's not being limited by political favour or the the particular wind of politics at the time or the amount of money that's in the budget. It's actually operating under an insurance scheme which is guaranteeing ongoing support at a minimal level for people who are eligible under the scheme for the lifetime of need of that individual. And for a lot of parents, that's a huge sigh of relief.
Yeah.
And I hear that every time I run an NDIS awareness session. So that's probably what gets me most excited. The other thing is coming from a commercial background as well, it's really nice to see that not-for-profit organisations are moving their operational capacity, their strategic thinking, and their organisational prowess into a commercial model. Because it is time for organisations like ours to lift their game and for all of those organisations to be seen as providers of choice. And if they're the outstanding provider in their sector, in their region, in their particular area, then they'll be recognised by the consumer and appropriately supported. And that can only be good for everyone involved. The not-for-profit sector deserves to be recognised for the hard work that its people put in, and the people that we serve deserve to be recognised for the support that they require and need on a day-to-day basis. And this is bringing some equilibrium back into that formula, which I'm very excited about. And if we can all operate at a really high sustainable level with professional marketing and branding and public presence and good websites and high levels of communication, high levels of accountability, then the end result for the consumer is much better. And ultimately, that's something we should all be very pleased in.
You've mentioned, as I said, a number of changes that you've put in place, and for what you've just said then, that's all driven by your passion for human rights, which has really inspired me, and which is exactly why we want to share your journey with the sector, because it's an inspirational one and one that's driven from an absolute point of genuineness. So thank you so much for your time.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you so much.
Okay.